Hello, TBC. Hope you're all doing well. This week's guest, we have got Josh Jones, aka the PKU Chef. This has been on the cards for quite a while, and we've had to reschedule it multiple times. And Josh has been nothing but accommodating. So thank you very much for doing that, mate. Welcome
Yeah,
to the
no
Trouble
problems.
Boys Club. How are you doing today, pal?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yeah, weather's good. Start of spring or summer or whatever. How long it lasts, who knows? Yeah, all good.
Yeah, same here, mate. Yeah, I've had like the back door open and stuff today, which has been a rarity for me, especially in Manchester. It's always fucking
Yeah.
raining here. But yeah, so I think the first question on my mind, and maybe everyone else's, is what is the PKU behind the PKU chef?
Right, there we are. Right. We start with the scientific part of it. PKU it stands for phenylketonuria, which is a genetic metabolic condition that every 1 in 10,000 babies here in the UK are born with. I was just one of the lucky ones, basically, who's given that. What it is, our bodies and PKU patients lack the enzymes to break down protein. So it's diagnosed from birth with the heel prick test in the hospital, taken away, and you're told, right, this is it, there's the book, that's your life now. It's maintained when I was a child, we talking almost 35 years ago. It's maintained through low protein dieting. Everything is weighed. Easiest way for people who haven't a clue what I'm on about is to say it's a bit like Weight Watchers and Slimming World, where you have so many points a day, depending on BMI, body, like development. You get so many the points in PKO called exchanges. So you get, say, 15 exchanges. So I know I was on 15 exchanges at the age of like 15, 16, which may seem a lot. But when you look at it from a thing, a bag of Walker's crisps could be 2 exchanges. A slice of wafer thin ham was 14. So we're looking at it,
14.
right, that is a no-go. You were
Wow.
told that, like, if you live your diet to the book and strict and how you should, I'll say how you should, you've basically everything, more or less, the majority of stuff you eat is subscribed by NHS, which they are fantastic. And the way the world has gone now, all right, veganism and like people eating sustainable more and like oat milk and soya. But again, oats are high in protein, soya's high in protein. It's become more accessible for people to, like, when you go out and have a food, for example, you could probably order from the vegan menu and work out that could be X amount exchanges. As a child growing up, you were thrown in the deep end, especially if mum and dad don't have it. When I was born, parents were literally like, crash course, there's your book, there's your child, away you go. My dietitian had to go on an intense crash course herself. So everybody around us basically learnt on the job, so to speak. So this is why the PK that I set up was set up for. It was to help people basically. So I used my knowledge of the hospitality industry um, to try and help new mums, new dads, new carers, new parents to go, I've got this child and I've never heard this before. What do I do? And the feedback I had from it, and like, it's been phenomenal. But it went worldwide. And then I had to sort of dive into it because it's dealt with differently in different parts of the world. Some people count vegetables as a protein, some people don't. So it was a minefield to start, but I've sort of dwindled it now that I've got to the point where I know, right, if you're American, you can eat this and this and this. But it was also learning the terms and terminology. Like, I made a recipe with brown sauce in. Like, we know HP. You probably have it on your bacon butties in the morning. I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue what HP was in America. So they're like, A1 steak sauce. I was like, no, HP. But steak sauce is their equivalent to our HP. So I was like, so I had to like sort of work, and so it was continuously learning. But to summarize your question, PKU is a genetic condition that affects people, and it's that our body lacks the enzymes to break down that protein. But like, if you want, you name me some things and I'll tell you whether I could eat them, because I'm pretty sure you'd be shocked what's in them. And I think like this is the one that always gets people, because they're like, oh, well, I have a lot. Oh, you're veggie then? I'm like, well, yeah, but I can't have milk. I can't have cheese. I can't have eggs. So they're like, oh, so you're vegan? Well, no, because I can't have nuts. I can't have rice. So they're like, well, what do you eat? I'm a big guy, like. So they're like, well, what do you eat? I'm like, well, sweets and shit.
Sweets and shit. Wow, that was a great explanation. That you had my full attention when you was going through that. But yeah, that must have been difficult, especially for your mum and dad when they just got handed this sort of like leaflet of going, yeah, your kid can't digest protein. See you later. Like me and my ex-partner had a similar thing when my son got diagnosed with autism. We just got a leaflet and told to go, right, see you later.
Crack on. Here we are.
You know, that learn on the job type thing that you mentioned, and it's daunting as fuck. Like you said, you created this page to help people who got that leaflet and, you know, got told to jog on with their like newborn baby and stuff like that. How daunting that can be.
And this is the thing; it's still going on, man. Like, it was obviously a thing. I didn't know that it was a big thing, like, about it, but like, it's been touched on some sort of level. I know the program called The Midwife done an episode on it.
And that was one with what's she called? Emma Willis.
No. That's her training to be a midwife. I don't know. It's some show that like the mother-in-law watches. She enjoys it. I'm not gonna knock it, but yeah, they touch on PKU on that, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've never heard of it at all.
But like I've had two boys myself with my partner, and nothing. No one in my family ever had it. No one that I've had, the two boys that I've got now, they don't have it. So it's like, what's going on? It just randomly goes, oh, we'll have him.
I suppose it's like your genetic lottery, isn't it? Like, I think a lot of people get genetic confused with hereditary. Like genetically, I've got bad hips, and I had to have a hip replacement when I was 28. But like people was like, oh, so is your dad or your granddad? It's like, no, genetics well different to hereditary. Hereditary means they passed it on. Genetic means it was just what you were when you were being made in that womb, your genetic makeup, and you just didn't have that enzyme in your genetic makeup.
Well, yeah,
unfortunately.
This is it. It is literally a lack of enzyme that breaks the protein molecule down, and it's like, well, here we are.
So I suppose like there goes your weightlifting career, like out the window, innit?
Oh yeah, but to touch on that, mate, there is a weightlifter out who's got PKU and he's fucking huge. He's
honestly
crazy.
How's that possible? Because obviously,
like I can't think of his name, and it's going to annoy me now. I'll remember tonight at like 2:00, and it is like his whole mantra is powered by plants, and he is an absolute unit.
Wait, has he got like black, like slick hair, and he does all the strongman stuff?
Yeah. There's one of them. One of them does.
I think I've seen it because he picks stuff up and goes vegan power.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I don't know his name though, but yeah.
But it's wild. Like, but then this was the thing. I went through a stage when the big protein powder and get fit with protein powder became a thing, and I was like, that'd probably kill me. But like as a PKU patient, you were given a protein supplement. So you're given, like, when I was younger, it'd come in a tin, and you'd have 2 scoops, mix it with water, exactly how protein powder's done now. And you drink that. You'd have like 2-3 pints of that a day. And that was my protein, but protein that my body could deal with. Not a steak then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is it. Like, and like, I've come to the terms now with the whole PKU community as a whole in the world has progressively gone crazy and like gained so much, I wouldn't say following, but there's so much more medical help and everything for it now. So I know that there's a super drug that you just basically jab in, and if you become a responder, you can keep taking it. But it genetically alters you, mate. I think, don't take me on this, I may be wrong, there may be PKU people kicking off, but it basically brings your tolerance level up for protein. was when I started doing the menus and the menu building for people and recipes. I had a guy message me from America going, "Hey, can you do something with chicken?" And I was like, "What? Chicken? I know I can look at chicken, but I can't eat it." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm on this thing. Kuvan it's called, Kuvan." And he's like, "Yeah, my protein tolerance is like 26." I'm like, Jesus Christ. Because he's become this super responder to it, he's jabbing up and his protein levels are going up. But
Bananas.
well,
But
it is. But
is
it's
that essentially like TRT, but for like PKU patients?
yeah, more or less, yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
can take protein, I'll give it me quick while I'm on this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like a steroid cycle almost, isn't it? Like, you'll have to come
Yeah.
off them injections soon. I guess you can't take them for the rest of your life.
But you've got to be like optimal peak condition for everything. Your like protein levels have got to be under what they should be under. They've got to be this, they've got to be that. Like, as much as I sit here and preach PKU to you, I will be honest, I don't follow the diet. I do the best. I'm not going out to like Miller and Carter and ordering a steak. There is still food products that I do not touch. There is guilty pleasures that every time I go to the doctors, they're like, "What are you eating?" And I'm like, "I don't want to say," because I know they're gonna pull my pants down and smack my ass. But but yeah, but it's wild. Like I said, you about like the milk, the oats, the egg, the bread, things like that. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." Like growing up and realizing like this. There's vivid memories of me growing up going to the chip shop and coming home with my parents having to weigh the bag of chips because I was only allowed like 100 grams of potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. Tea over at my friend's house after school. Like, do you remember I think it was McCain's who made Alpha Bites. They were called little potato
Yeah.
letters. I don't know why this worked out, but it'll always stick with me, and it stuck with my mate's mum as well. I was allowed 13 letters, but I had to have one I for the weight. I was like, "What?" They're like, "You need that one I, that one vowel has to be in there." Apparently, that was the perfect weight for however many exchanges they were. Like, I couldn't tell you because I was like 10, but yeah, it's just things like that. Like, and they're the sort of things that, like, growing up have stuck with me.
Is that in terms of like you'd look at other people just going home eating their tea, not having to worry about this kind of stuff? And did it make you feel a bit sort of like a bit isolated, a bit sort of like why me, or was it just like a bit of a faff that you could really just think you could do without?
Yeah, there was points where I'd like tea parties, birthday parties. I'm not allowed cake. What's the point in going?
Yeah, and people will obviously when the kids they'll not judge, but they'll look and be like, "Oh, look at Josh, he's not allowed cake," and it can be quite isolating. I can imagine.
Yeah, I've always said that I've had like thick skin through everything I've been through, but I don't remember it bothering me. But I think if I got to the age that I was now, and then you went and I'd lived like a diet like yourself, and then the doctors went, "You need to stop," then I think it'd affect me. I've never known different.
Yeah,
So
this is your normal. Yeah.
I've never gone out with the wife and had a steak. I've never had chicken. I've never had fish. I've never had it. So it's not something that my body is like, I could smash a steak now.
Yeah, because you've never had one,
No,
so you don't
no.
know you don't know what it is in order to miss it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, it's crazy that like
Yeah, it's like,
that's the
and
case.
explaining it to people, it's like, what? You've never had chicken? Well, no.
So can you talk me through like a typical like a summarized day of eating for someone with PQ, like what you had to eat today for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Would you like me to do what I had for breakfast, lunch today, or would you like me to do it through a proper PKU lifestyle?
Maybe a proper PKU lifestyle one.
I'm only asking now because by trade I'm a chef, and like this is downtime now, so I'll eat a bag of Haribos before I go to bed, and then that's it.
Right.
You would probably get up and you'd have, they now do the protein shake in like sports bottles. So you'd have one of them, depending on like I said, depending on you, would depend on how many you have. So you'd right. wake up in the morning, you can have milk, which is supplied by the NHS. So you put that in with your protein powder, which is supplied by the NHS. Shake it up. You've got a banana or chocolate milkshake. That's your protein intake. That would also double up possibly as your breakfast. Straight into work then, for example, then maybe you get a bit peckish. You could, if you have the capability to supply them. NHS now have tried to make PKU lifestyle as normal looking as your lifestyle. So you could sit there with a chicken and mushroom pot noodle. I would sit there with my PKU NHS pot noodle. Tea then could be anything from potatoes, but they're portioned and monitored. Potatoes, I could say I was doing like a veggie spag bol, for example, then let's go with that. I'd use mushrooms for the mince, cook that down with tomatoes and all that. All that's free. But then I'd use my low protein pasta that would be supplied by the NHS. Bed then, you want something before bed. They're very good. Like I said, they do like, let's call them fake knockoff Kit Kat bars then. They do things like that. They do the instant porridge pots now, which they've tried to make it as easy as possible, like I said. So grab and go. So, right, I'm going out the door, let's grab a yogurt pot. That type of thing. So you can, from the outside look, you can look as if you're eating everything else like everybody else is, but you're not. And this is what they didn't have when I was younger growing up. They've now started marketing it correct. So a pot noodle looks like a pot noodle. It doesn't look like a silver bag, like spaceman food, like it used to be.
Yeah, like you put it in. It's like a tinfoil ball, and you've got to shot it in one.
Yeah.
And my meal, like done, like the everlasting gobstopper type thing.
Yeah.
Like that's my full meal. I can feel it going down my throat. You've got that in your mouth.
Prime example for that would be this. This is always a fond memory. Like holiday time as a kid growing up, you'd get a doctor's note. Right, this child needs this and this for holidays. They need their own bread. They need their own milks. But these tins that I would have my protein shake in were obviously pressurized canisters, so you couldn't take them on an aeroplane. So you had to open them and fill plastic bags with white powder. Carrying that through customs would always raise questions. But then you'd pull out this piece of paper as a doctor's note, and if they didn't believe you, you'd go, well, smell that, and it's orange flavour. So they'd be like, oh, okay. But yeah, that'd always flag up. No matter what security passport control we are, hand luggage going through with like 6 bags of clear white powder.
Especially like, oh, you're flying to Colombia as well. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They're now like twist cap, like Lucozade energy bottles now. Just twist it off, bolt it down, job done. But that's what I mean. Cereals is milk. So you could just wake up, and I could have the same sort of meals as you, but behind the scenes, they're not.
Yeah, they've had like the sort of like excess protein, like drained from them or taken away from the product itself, which is, I can imagine, quite a extensive process as it is to get protein out of food, because every food has like a bit of protein. Like bread has got a tiny bit of protein in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. Like, so there's some things that PKU and patients have that still contains the protein, but it's a low protein form of it. But yeah, it's wild.
It is. So from being a child and stuff like that, and having this sort of let's say condition, like you said, you had a lot of like thick skin because you had to sort of like, I don't know, take it on the chin that you couldn't eat the same as like your classmates and things like that. Do you think that led you into the whole stuff that you're doing now in the essence of trying to help and educate people, because you've seen it from the other side? And that's what we tend to see with people like myself and Jay, who experience one thing and then do everything in their power to make sure the next man doesn't experience it.
Yeah. So like the older you get and the more like switched on you start getting, so you're not going to the hospital appointments with mum and dad anymore. You're now get into the age of becoming a man, that you're a teenager and all that, you sort of get this independence where it's like, oh, hold on, I can make these decisions myself now. Because as you grow up, I was taken from like a dietetics team because it's it can cause neurological damage. You're then put under the neurological team and stuff, and then they become your dietitians. So I sort of remember sitting there one day talking to them, and I was like, right, okay. And then I got home, spoke to my parents, and they were like, Josh, it was really hard when you were young. They were like, everything was restricted. Like my mum used to. So not only did we go through passport control with bags of white powder, she also had a weighing scales in her hand luggage to weigh like a bowl of soup the other side in the airport. So it was hard. So like I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try and see if I can help someone. If it don't work, it don't work. And then it just went mental. I started it on Facebook and Facebook went crazy. COVID came then, which was obviously fun. But again, that was strange for my industry because everything shut down. So you've got these chefs now and like people in hospitality who are sitting in their garden in the sun, getting pissed all the time. We never had that. Like I actually saw my kids grow up for the time that we were off because no one was allowed out. So it sort of developed through there, and I was like, I'd like to be able to sort of use my knowledge of protein intake and all that and what's in protein to try and develop menus and recipes. So I tried doing it through just like, here's a menu, have a go cooking. But it wasn't much. But then I'd have people going, I've got a little boy, he loves broccoli, but I can't get him to eat anything, help. So then it sort of become behind the lines with like private DMs and my inboxes were just like people going, I need help. And like it literally would be that. They were like cries for help. And it's like, I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, right, how old is the person we're talking about? And they'd be like, 6 months. Is there things they like, dislike? And they'd be like, yeah, big fan of broccoli. Right, okay, well, try this. Or maybe don't try that. Try and get this into it. And it just, I couldn't see the aftermath of it. I couldn't see if it was helping the kids or helping the people. But I knew for that split second when they had that recipe, they can go, yeah, okay. So that's where it came from. And like I said, I can just remember my parents going, it was hard, Josh. Like, we're not going to lie to you. And I could imagine, when my youngest was born, Ezra, he had a lot of problems as in like dietary requirements. He was allergic. He had a fructose allergy. He was milk allergy, everything. So I was like, maybe he's got PKU. But if he did, I would have known how to deal with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's there. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. So I begged and begged with the hospital, can you retest him? They're like, no, he's been done. He's fine. I was like, just please. We had a bit of trouble with this. So I was like, right, okay, I'm going to my big doctor in the metabolic neurological team. And they basically demanded that they retested him because Dad was a carrier. It turned out he wasn't, but he was just milk and fructose allergy, but he's grown out of it. Whereas he asks sometimes, he's like, Dad, will you ever be able to have meat? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to grow out of it. This is it, like, but that's what's nice about it. They've come to terms and they realise and know about it. So when they're in school with like different cultures, races, and all this, and people don't eat things for certain reasons, they aren't like tone deaf to it. They switched on, so they're like, my dad doesn't eat this because, and I think it's quite nice to see it that way. But no, it was nice to do things for people. Like during COVID, before COVID hit, I was invited out to America to go and do basically there's a big summer camp in America and Canada that they do it's a PKU event. So like the people with all their families go along, and they wanted me to go and do a guest spot and do a cook along, basically. They supply all the food for them. And I was like, buzzing. Yeah, all the day, let's go. But then COVID happened. They shut everything down. So I done it viral. As we are talking now through like Google and stuff, I done it like that. So you had these class of like, I don't know how many it was in hundreds because I was streamed over 3 screens. But you had this class and I'm doing it live like this at like 4 o'clock in the morning in my kitchen because it's like 1 in the afternoon there.
Yeah.
So I was wild, but like that was great. And I was like so easy as well. And like I'd worked it all out. I was like, right, if you use this and this and this is how many exchanges a portion is. The entire pot is this. So like the menus and the recipes are like broken down into like bite-sized things that if you found it overwhelming, you could cook it. Oh, that serves 6 people, so you could have that for 6. Not that you'd feed each other consecutively 6 days the same shit, but yeah, it was like everything's suitable for freezing down. Chuck it in a portion pot, chuck it in freezer. You've got another 5 portions there. But yeah, it was just nice knowing that was being done, and I was able to more than anything.
Yeah, you're giving people like hope essentially, because I bet they've been trying to get their child to eat different things, and then they've got nowhere. They've found your page and gone, he loves broccoli. Can you help us? And you give them hope for that like brief period of time, and I suppose that can be quite infectious from yourself, knowing that you can be that person that can give parents and carers, like you say, that the knowledge and the fact that you break it down. It's taking the ability for the person to be overwhelmed by doing all that. Like obviously it's a lot of work from your end, but you've seen it on the other side, as in how much work it actually took to gather that knowledge. It's been your mum and dad, maybe it took them a lifetime, and then obviously you've picked it up as you've got older and understood more about your condition and things like that. And I think what you're doing is not allowing people to get that overwhelmed if they do have this condition. Like you're giving them a breakdown of like a sort of, it's like if you can put it to like like what PTs do when they give you like a training program and a diet to follow. You're doing that for people with the same condition as you, which is it's fucking mint as far as I can tell.
Yeah, well, this was the thing. See, I was like, is it gonna help? Because obviously, if you've just had a baby born and they've got PKU, you're now under the health and guidance of the hospital. But I'm not saying I felt neglected or everything, but it's easy for them who don't have it to go, you need to do your bloods, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. You're not then in that situation with me when I'm sat at a friend's birthday party and they're all eating cake. So what do I do now when they're all eating McDonald's and they're eating French fries and chicken nuggets? McDonald's, when I was growing up, didn't do veggie or vegan options. It was fish fingers or chicken nuggets. What do I do? Now I look like the fucking weirdo in the corner who's eating double fries. And they didn't see it from that angle. So I think this is another reason why I done it. Because it's like, not that I've not grown up and started to resent it. Like, I haven't. I'm not saying that. But for that split second in that moment in time, you're like, what do I do? Like, for example, KFC, for example. My wife loves a KFC, so do my kids. But they won't go there because I can't really have anything there. Which, I love them for it. But it doesn't bother me. It's never bothered me. So it's not going to now at 35 years old. I get what they're doing.
Yeah,
I see their side of it.
Supporting you, isn't it? It's a unified front, and it's like if Dad can't have it, we can't have it, and that's lovely, man. That's really, really nice.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just I didn't want anyone to go down the route where they're like, I don't know what to do, because like I said, yes, the hospital will help, and I'm not slagging off the system or anything. I'm not saying anything against it, but there is. I think it was. I would have felt a lot nicer and more at ease growing up if I knew someone who'd had it, because it's then first-hand experience, not learned through a book.
Yeah, it's like that sort of comfort in someone else who's going through the same thing, or someone who's got more knowledge than you about a particular thing, and you can lean on that person, etc. So, well, that is a lot of information about PKU that is absolutely it's amazing to learn about anything that's new that could be impacting billions of people, but obviously no one will know what it actually is. So I think, God, we've been going half an hour already. It only feels like 10 minutes or something. So I wanted to talk to you about your mindfulness diploma.
Right, yeah.
Like, what was the sort of like Kickstarter into going doing? Was that a course on mindfulness, or was that a degree, uni thing? Like how did
It
that
was
come about?
no, it was like an online course thing that my partner's a teacher, so she deals with a lot of mindfulness and all this and meanings and everything. So I was a bit like, I had a clue what you're on about when she'd come home and talk to me. So I was like, but then also, I know you said that when your little one was born, you were just given that sheet of information and gone, there you are. My partner deals with people on the spectrum and autism and all sorts of learning, like not problems, but learning obstacles for people to overcome. And my eldest is, we haven't got him diagnosed, tested, or anything, and we've just let him do his own thing. But she'd obviously pick up being the teacher, and she'd be like, maybe there is something, like, you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. So I went, I'm going to learn it. But then it was also through my industry, which is mental, pardon the pun, for mental health. Like, I've worked in kitchens where I've literally seen a guy in front of me, as clear as you, have a mental breakdown. I've been on that point. So I'm like, maybe I should learn about it. So I did. I just jumped into this course and I come out the other side with like such a bigger understanding of everything. Not just the respect for what my partner does as a teacher and what people go through, but just how to deal with him in the kitchen who's having a fucking off day. And that's how we went. It was just like it sort of opened up my eyes a lot more to what was going on around me. Like home life and work and friends. And just people in general. I was like, are you alright? Yeah. No. Are you alright? And then they're like, no, not really. Do you want to talk? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Come on then. But yeah, it was just that. I just wanted to get more of an understanding of things, and obviously, like I said, there's been times where I've been in kitchens where I'm like, oh, I'm in deep now. What do I do? So that has helped, and like I said, not just myself, other people who've been around me, and like it's not a thing that I go around now saying, stand back, I've got a diploma. It's nothing that I'm not chucking it out there, but I think I'm pretty good now at picking up on if someone's struggling or battling something. I can go, come on, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Let's have a beer. Talk to me, like.
I suppose it's like a sort of like it's like a course on empathy, isn't it?
Yeah,
I need to see it from that other person's eyes
yeah,
and then realize what that person's going through and then think, what would I want if I was in that situation? Because like if someone is on the sort of like verge of a bit of a freak out, you don't want to draw attention to that.
no.
You
This
you
is
don't
it.
want to shout out like, "Oh, X person is about to go underpants here," because then
Yes.
everyone's eyes are going to turn on the person, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, and
freak
that's
out.
it.
It's like when you're out on like having a few beers and stuff. If you get a bit too pissed, and then people start pointing out to you
Yeah,
just how pissed you are, it
someone
fucks
sick
with
in the
your head,
corner.
messes with your head.
Yeah,
Yeah. You'd want one guy to come over to you and go, "Come here, mate. Let's go to the bog. Get your hands
yeah.
down your throat.
Have a tic tac.
Get rid.
Yeah,
Right, you okay now? Pat on the back.
that's it. Yeah,
Sound
come
okay.
on.
I'll go get you a bottle of water and some crisp. Chill it,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah,
bring him
that's
back
it.
in. No one,
Come on,
it's unnoticed. So I
out
know
the
that's a
back.
bit of a random example, but
No, but it works though. It is. It's like,
it
come on, out the
works.
back, tactical chunder, get back in, have a tic tac, let's go, and that's it. But yeah, and exactly that, and it happens like so many times in this industry that I'm in because of like like I say to a couple of the boys that I've worked with previously over the years and have become real good friends of mine, that I've gone, this, like, we're all on the same journey from start to finish, but not everybody's journey is the same. And there's different obstacles in between and different, like, avenues you go down. But it's like, I think there was a big thing. Okay, the world is changing now, and it's nice to see that, where people, especially guys in general, didn't want to go, I need help. And I think that is also why I went into it, wanted to sort of do it, because, like I said, like the industry I've been in, there's so much like addiction. It's just wild. It is. I don't know if anybody else watches or follows you as chefs, but they'll be with me. There is a certain sort of mind, I think, that can only work as a chef. Whether we were dropped on our head as a kid or what, I don't know. There is just something about chef's mentality that isn't wired like other people. And then I think there's also that continuous fight of like, oh my God, my ticket rail is full of, I've got a full restaurant, what do I do? Bang, 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 you bang them out. And then there always needs to be that de-stress, whether that's you go home, go to bed and come straight back into work the next day, whether you phone a dealer, whether you sink 12 cans of Stella, or mine, and I'll be honest, mine was caffeine, energy drinks, back, like, honest to God, pinnacle point. I knew I had a problem when I'd work all day and I'd come home and me and the wife would go to bed and she'd make me a squash. She'd have a glass of like Ribena and I'd open a can of Monster and go to bed.
Actually sleep.
That is when I was like, maybe this is a problem. But honest to God, like there's seriously something wrong with chefs.
I suppose though, like every day they're sort of treading in water. Every day they're competing against one another. They're competing to get rid of their workload itself, i.e., like the tickets, the meals, and things like that. Like it's a constant tread of water, which you do have to have a particular.
There needs to be some sort of release. Yeah.
After you spend all day doing that, and obviously it's going to be different per that person, isn't it?
Yeah, like
from what I'm saying, do a lot of the people, because it is such a pressurized environment.
Yeah, I've worked with
escapism.
I worked in a kitchen. I worked in a kitchen once where the like de-stress area would be walk into the freezer and punch the boxes of chips, because that's how tense the kitchen was all the time. It was like you're either putting your fist through a box of chips or you're going to end up decking someone. It's just, but that's what I mean. It's very, very hard to find that kitchen that is always like that. Or you find it, but then Saturday it'll spike right up. And then it'll drop back down. And then Sunday morning it's down here because everyone's hungover, they're on a come down or something. It'll never be that at any point.
I think
that is me saying I was 13 going into professional kitchens. I'm now 34. It's 21 years. That is me, honestly, being brutally honest with myself and with what I've experienced. But there's certain people who love the job, and that's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't change it. I've learned a lot from the jobs I've done. And I genuinely do that. Like, the person who sat here now talking in front of you, I think I was created in kitchens.
Yeah, I like that. I like that little.
Honestly, like, like there is a lot of like, and I think if you was a chef for years and then left the trade and done something else, I think if you stood them in the lineup and let me talk to them for 5 minutes, I could pick who the chef was.
Just by how they like carry themselves, almost.
Just by how they carry themselves, how they talk, and their mentality as well, which is mad. But I think it's a thing that people in hospitality have got. Like, I would probably be able to I'd probably be able to walk into Costa and say, that's their first time working that coffee machine.
No, like a third eye almost.
Yeah, I think people, and I'm not I'm not saying this because I think everybody on here who possibly works in the industry would go, yeah, we agree with Josh on this, but I think the people who go into restaurants and complain and go, oh, well, I'm a chef. They're the people who you're like, no, you're not. You probably work in a calf. But yeah, I do. And that's what I mean. The mindfulness thing come from that. Like I was 13 going into kitchens. So I could honestly say I could sit here now and go, do I think I'm probably correct in the head? No, not at all. Because I've been in kitchens for 21 years. But that, I think, is the mental and harsh reality of the hospitality trade.
True. Yeah, it's very eloquently put, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like, what time are we on now? Yeah, okay. So we've got one more question for you.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap it up. So what's going to be next for the PKU chef? Like, where's it heading into 2025 and 2026 and onwards? Because you've amassed quite the following, mate. Honestly, it's really, really good.
Yeah. And 2025 to 2026, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes at the moment with people, collaborations and everything. Realistically, if I could do what I wanted to do right now, I'd probably have a food van or some sort of like portable restaurant that I take round. That has always been the dream, just to work for myself and all that. But to be honest, mate, there's no like, I'm not saying there's no drive because I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing. I'm in a job now where I've got the time to enjoy family life. So the work family lifestyle balance is insane. It's fantastic. I've never had this before. So it's nice to balance that out. It also takes the mentality mind out of the equation. I just think onwards and upwards, really. I've always lived by, it was a thing I was told years ago and it stuck with me, keep on keeping on. And that is basically, that's the plan. Like you said about that thing where it's like, where it looks mental. I can't remember what you said. It's gone. My life, my life is very much, imagine a duck on the water, graceful on the top, legs like that underneath. It's mental behind the scenes, but to look at and talk to, you think, he's pretty chilled out, that guy. My head is fucking screwed. Like, people got, love to be in your head for 5 minutes. You wouldn't last.
You fucking
I'd give you a minute and you'd be gone.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
know what?
no.
I think my duck analogy would be the same as yours. Like, you look all composed from the
Here we are.
outside looking inward.
I knew you said something.
Your mind's running rings around you, and you're constantly fighting that inner monologue to just like, shut up for 5 minutes, will you? Fuck me.
Yeah. There's points like where like I work in a kitchen now that's open plan, and even my customers have come to realize what chef is in the kitchen, depending from what noises are coming out of it. It's just,
Do they get earplugs up when they walk in? Like, have your seat, and there's your earplugs.
Yeah.
And don't ask any questions.
Like the girls I work with as well, they're like, oh, he's on one. That's it. Like and that's what I mean. Like what I said to you is, I genuinely think the person I am now was created in kitchens. I met my partner in the trade. At one point, my dad and my brother and all my family worked in the same kitchen. So I think like the respect for my father went up as I grew, because obviously him being a chef, sounds bad, but I didn't really see him growing up, because I'd go to school, he'd go be in work, he'd come home, I'd be in bed. It was like that. We'd very much, but he worked his bollocks off to get us everything we wanted, holidays, all this, nice house, everything. So, but then I think when I started working with him, then I sort of went, right, I respected him anyway. He was my dad. I respected him in a different light then. So I was like, I see what you do for us now.
Yeah, I see the sort of like mental fatigue you put on yourself to make sure we got the holidays, make sure we had like food and stuff like that.
Going back to the addiction thing, when I said whether it's like drugs, alcohol, my father was very much work addicted. He'd want to be in work all the time to provide the best for us, which I did. So there was the caffeine and the work addiction. But then I was losing family. Like my partner was like, never seeing me. I just had kids. I was like, oh. And that's what I mean. COVID reset everything for this industry.
For some, that would have been a really bad thing, but
Yeah,
for others,
yeah.
it might have been a really good thing. And like you say, you were able to watch your kids grow up for that 2 years, and so you got quite a positive thing out of a absolute fucking disaster.
Yeah, and like I know it, like you said, it was menacing, COVID. Like I'm not disputing that, but I know when everything was lifted, I know chefs who went, I'm not fucking going back to work 100 hours. I'm gonna go down Amazon and deliver parcels all week, and that's why businesses round here are shut because they had no chefs. But it was a crazy time when you look back and think about it. It's mental.
Yeah, it was fucking wild. Did you do the whole pub quiz thing on Zoom with like any of your mates
I
about?
was pissed. I was pissed all the time. It was
All the
terrible.
time. Yeah.
Like I'd write the quizzes for like my wife's family, like because they all live up the country and all that. So I'd write that, and then they'd phone me sometimes, and I'd literally be sat in the garden in pants, beer in hand, sunglasses, and writing quizzes. But yeah, it was mental. But like we had that weather as well, man. That was the best weather I've ever had.
Yeah, it was the same. I was doing like
crazy.
workouts in the back garden and stuff with my mates on like a 4-way WhatsApp call. I mean, it was honestly the hottest summer that I've ever had, I think. And we couldn't do fuck all.
Yeah, but no, it was like I said, and I'm not going, oh yeah, it was brilliant, because it wasn't, because the shit that the country and everybody went through for it. But yeah, like you said, the quizzes and just all that, it was like, it literally was some shit you'd see in a film.
Yeah.
It was like, if you told me 10 years ago that's going to happen, I'd be like, nah, you're fucking mad, but that ain't happening, no chance. They're not going to shut pubs and restaurants, and chefs are going to be out of work for like months. Not a chance. It happened.
It was funny. I remember seeing when the pubs like first opened, but outside, and it was like pissing down, and there was this one guy just sat outside the pub with his fucking pint, pissing rain. It just epitomised like fucking stereotypical British culture.
Yeah. This is it. Like, and then we look at us as a country and go, no wonder people think we fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? We're not doing much to help ourselves when we're doing all that shit.
Not at all.
Right, mate. Well, honestly, this has been really, really insightful, Josh. I can't thank you enough for your time. Is there any last minute sort of like message for our audience that you want to get across before we say our emotional goodbyes?
There's no real message, really. Just like I will end it on keep on keeping on.
Nice.
That is it. Like, just power through, man. We got through that shit like COVID, so all right. The weather's piss pants in Britain, but we here. Do you get what I mean? That's all we can do, is just head down and drive through. Like,
keep on keeping on. Yeah,
keep on keeping on. Yeah, nah, but it works as well. So yeah, no, mate, it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed. Like you said, it's been a long time coming, but I'm buzzing. I stuck it out and waited.
Yeah, no, I'm really, really glad that we finally got you on, mate. Honestly, it's been really good. So yeah, we'll end it there, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Fab. Cheers. Thanks, man. Great speaking with you.
All the best, Josh. Bye.
Cheers. Ta-da.